welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. This guy is supposedly the most top-rated show on cable news, 9 o'clock. So here's the question. Can the left lead a country they hate? That's what Tucker is asking. Can the left lead a country they hate? Let's see what he has to say. I'm not sure if he understands what hate is.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. Happy Monday. One of the great unsolved mysteries of the past 4 years is why certain types of people with certain types of jobs hate Donald Trump so much, really hate him, obsess over him, think about him when they wake up in the morning, would hurt him if they could. Why the fixation? It has nothing to do with the reasons that normal people sometimes get annoyed with Trump, the bragging, the short attention span, the rants on Twitter. None of that justifies hatred or obsession. Plenty of politicians have unappealing personal qualities. Teddy Kennedy killed a woman, and he's still a hero to the Democratic Party.
He is not a hero to the Democratic Party. That kind of broad generalizations is what the left hates. Stop making false equations. Mr. Tucker, topmost rated personality. You know, that's what we hate. We don't like that about Fox News or the right-wing pundits sitting there and telling who they think anybody hates or loves, okay? You are definitely not an expert in figuring out what the left hates.
No, the reason the ruling class despises Donald Trump.
The ruling class is who? There's a reason why everybody is despising Trump. It's not just a supposed ruling class. Where do you get that from? Many Republicans are bailing out like rats. It is time for you to jump ship. Trump is not your savior. He is not going to save this country. He has already, he is already responsible for swamping this country into the deepest of swamps.
Is because they can't control him.
Of course, no one can control this guy. Where did you get that idea from? He's totally out of control. His own family will tell you that. What is there to love about your hero, Trump?
Trump throws the bit. He refuses to mouth their lyrics. He will not obey. At any moment, Donald Trump is liable to come out with something that you're absolutely not allowed to say. Borders make countries, for example. China is our enemy. Whoopi Goldberg isn't that funny.
Tell me about it. But maybe it is time for Fox News to have a certain border called morality. Maybe it is time for you to have a border from which you should not escape. Have a leash, electronic fence like they put dogs. So whenever you tell lies and make false equations, there is something to control you. It doesn't matter if you think Whoopi Goldberg is not funny. Nobody's forcing you to watch. China is definitely an enemy, not only of this country. Russia too. Do you know that? Why not say it? Russia is the enemy of this country.
All of it undeniably true, and that's the point and the problem.
What is undeniably true and the problem? What is the problem? Do you know what the problem is? People like you pontificating about what anybody is supposed to be thinking or feeling. You're the last person who should be talking about what the left or right thinks or does. You are doing this to incite passion, passionate hate. you really have no value. Your show really has no intrinsic value other than to throw red meat at eager consumers of this kind of nonsense.
Trump's words hang in the air for all to see and to assess, and they are therefore a massive threat to people whose livelihoods depend upon fraud and lying.
The number one fraud and the number one liar is Trump himself. Why not get that? You're twisting the facts, my friend. I don't know how the 60 million people or 70, whoever is watching your show could be so clueless as to understand or think that somehow you're in some kind of an area where no one can question your values. It is an absolute shame. One thief cannot tell the other thief not to steal.
Trump is the most dangerous to his enemies when he tells the truth.
Do you know who his enemies are? Almost everyone. Get it? His enemies are almost everyone except those who will not question him and be blindly loyal to him and could say and will not say anything even if he goes down Fifth Avenue and shoots somebody.
In fact, they're his enemies precisely because sometimes he does tell the truth. And he did it the other day.
Tell the truth.
On Friday, the president gave a speech at Mount Rushmore. He spoke eloquently about the BLM riots and what they mean for the country.
BLM rights. You know what the BLM rights are? First of all, maybe you don't understand what BLM is. They're not the only ones who showed up in the streets. There were people of all backgrounds, white, brown, and all that, who went and demonstrated, because this was not just a BLM show. So, Tucker, you need to stop lying. What kind of a network is this that promotes this kind of a nonsense? We know that Fox Whole News thrives on this kind of a platform of lies and bigotry.
Part of it.
Make no mistake, this left-wing cultural revolution is designed to overthrow the American Revolution.
What was that? You know what the American
In so doing, they would,
Mr. Trump, that all men are created equal. And not only that you say it, but you practice it. In your own administration, how many African Americans are there? How many Latinos were there? Please.
would destroy the very civilization that rescued billions from poverty, disease, violence, and hunger, and that lifted humanity to new heights of achievement, discovery, and progress.
The problem is, are you living up to that? Are you living up to that?
To make this possible, they are determined to tear down every statue, symbol, and memory of our national heritage.
The national heritage is this, that there was something called a Confederacy that wanted to preserve slavery. Their statues are in many places. Now that this happened, the left is taking the lead to bring down all the statues that glorify slavery. Do you understand that part? If you don't understand that part, you will not understand anything else. There's no point in talking. The point is this. When you have a closed mind and an open mouth, the result is never-ending confusion and chaos. You will be mismatched. You will not be able to, you will be engaged in false equations. Do you understand what that means?
Our national heritage, it's something we can be proud of.
Exactly. The national heritage is not all by white people. I hope you get that. We are all proud of it. But we are not proud of all the ways this country was engaged in killing its own people. No. You have to be brave enough, the land of the free, brave enough to be able to point out the shortcomings of this country. Everyone has shortcomings. When you point out shortcomings, it doesn't mean you hate your country.
This country defeated both fascism and communism.
Is it able to defeat, first of all, right-wing nonsense? Can this country defeat, let's talk about, can this country defeat bigotry? You need to address that. Please. You're so proud of this country, you love this country. Talk about bigotry. Talk about lies. Talk about fear-mongering. Okay, Mr. Tucker Carlson, the most high-rated whatever. Huh?
Revolution inspired democratic revolutions around the world, from South America to India. Even today, pro-freedom demonstrators in Hong Kong, where the stakes are very high, wave the American flag to express their hope and their defiance. Our economy and our schools created the world's first and the greatest educated middle class. Our engineers and our scientists invented the airplane and the transistor and virtually everything else in modern life. They also transformed agriculture. They ended famine on most of the globe. Our richest citizens became famous not for the palaces they built to themselves, but for the philanthropy they gave to others. Andrew Carnegie built countless libraries for the poor. John D. Rockefeller eradicated hookworm in the South. These are not the deeds of an evil country. They're the accomplishments of a great country.
Who is saying that this country is evil? Evil was done, but who is saying that this country is evil? In fact, you are saying that this country is evil by saying that the left hates this country. Indirectly, you are saying that this country is evil. Do you know what you're talking about?
As the president pointed out, American school children learn virtually none of this. Instead, our curricula have become a toxic mix of lies and omission.
Starting with Fox News. What do you think Fox News is built on? Promoting lies, fabricated events, editing out images. What are you talking about?
All of it designed to poison our children against the country that formed them.
Oh, really?
Against every law of society and nature, our children are taught in school to hate their own country and to believe that the men and women who built it were not heroes, but that were villains. The radical view of American history is a web of lies, all perspective.
Yeah, so you'll keep going on and on and on like that. So who's teaching that this country is evil and all that? Don't you think that there was slavery? Don't you think this land was stolen? Are you trying to whitewash the history of this country, the greatest country, no doubt? The problem with you guys is that you think that whatever you think and say is right and whatever everybody else is saying is wrong. You need to be ashamed of this. You need to stop this.
Every virtue is obscured. Every motive is twisted. Every fact is distorted. And every flaw is magnified until the history is purged and the record is disfigured beyond all recognition.
Every word of that is true. If you have kids in school, you know, it may even be understatement. What is happening in our classrooms right now in 2020 is a crime.
First of all the schools are closed. What are you talking about? What are they being taught? Do you have witness? Can what you say withstand the scrutiny of evidence, the rules of evidence?
It is long past time that a sitting president said so.
It's long past time that a sitting president learns how to tell the truth and not engage in false equations and bigotry and lies. Be a statesman, for heaven's sake.
And then Trump kept going.
He should keep going until he just gets out of the White House. It's time to do that.
the end of his speech, he defended the core promise of America, the principle this country was founded on. It's the only principle that will allow America to survive going forward, a nation where all citizens are equal from birth and as a result enjoy equal rights and equal protection under the law.
Well, talking about equality, how many African Americans are there in his cabinet? How are the police, white police, treating blacks, African Americans? Do you know it or not? Why don't you cover that if you really care about the truth, liberty, equal protection under the law and all that? Why not talk about that for a change? Huh? But
It's the America our Declaration of Independence describes.
We believe in equal opportunity, equal justice, and equal treatment for citizens of every race, background, religion, and creed. Every child of every color,
people are in the
born and
administration,
unborn,
cabinet.
is made in the holy image of
we
God.
believe in that, but you practice
We
that.
want free and open debate,
Please.
not speech codes
Stop it.
and cancel
Time to
culture.
stop this nonsense.
We embrace tolerance,
Oh,
not
really?
prejudice. We support the courageous men and women of law enforcement. We will never abolish our police or our great Second Amendment, which gives us the right to keep and bear
Take
arms.
care of the police first. There's no doubt that the police play an important role in keeping law and order. But when you have police engaging in violence towards a certain group of people on a regular basis, we cannot continue to talk about how great the police are. The police can be great if they only eradicate that racism, the systematic racism, and the violence that seems to show up quite often. Read the facts, accept reality, my friend.
We believe that our children should be taught to love their country, honor their history, and respect our great American.
Do you do that? Do you really love the country? When you blamed Americans because of the bad relationship between Russia and America, who are you elevating?
Flag. We stand tall.
Okay, I feel like, getting out of here. Come back to the